Tonight's story hits close to home for many of us here at Mount Horeb. A 32-year-old male hits a tree after driving while intoxicated. But before we get to that, we have some information from the DMV that everybody should take in. This year, there have been 30 reported car crashes in Mount Horeb. In these accidents, 5 people have died and 15 have been severely injured, nearly half being drivers under the age of 20. For the small town of Mount Horeb, these numbers are larger than they have ever been, and they are only increasing over the years. Last year, there were 13 reported car crashes, and the year before that, only 5. Some people believe that the more crashes are due to the reckless teen driving, but data is still being collected and reviewed. As seen in this graph, including information of when crashes occur, the biggest cause of crashes is when cars are in motion or just cruising through town, not during rush hour like many people may believe.
You know, I would never guess that. Such a shame.
Just remember, click it or ticket. This brings us to our next story of the night. Here's Kiri with the story.
This morning at 2:30 a.m., Mount Horeb Police received a call from a neighborhood woman here on 2nd Street. She complained of waking up due to loud bangs, screeches, and the smell of smoke. When police arrived to investigate, they found 32-year-old Mike Sanson laying conscious but unmoving about 5 yards from his car. Sanson was hit this tree you see behind me. His car is damaged by the repair. Police suspect Sanson was intoxicated while driving. However, they rushed him to the hospital before they could check for alcohol level. Other than that, no injuries seem to have occurred. However, due to a nearby pipe system, authorities have warned locals to look for any changes in their running water. That may have been a side effect of the pipe being hit or damaged by this crash. Police reports say the crash caused a small fire, and if Sanson hadn't been found right away, he would likely have not made it through the night. So, thanks to a local woman's quick thinking, no one was seriously injured last night. Back to you, Jillian.
Speaking of disasters, here's Alyssa on the field covering a recent natural disaster.
Thank you. Last night, a horrible storm raged through an area a couple miles west of Mount Horeb. With gale force winds, driving hail, and funnel clouds, it made a large path of destruction. Today I am here on the property of Mr. and Mrs. Richardson, whose land was affected by the storm. First of all, as you can see around me, one of their garages was blown down. Thankfully, it was only used to store firewood and held nothing of value. The wind that blew it down was traveling at 120 miles per hour and also blew down some nearby trees. Mr. Richardson says they aren't sure what to do with the garage yet, or if they will rebuild it. It was useful, but we can live without it. We need to focus our money on repairing fences and the damages on the barn. That's what Mrs. Richardson said when I asked her about it this morning. The fences and barn are just more damages to add to the list. Right now, I'll show you the barn. The damages on the barn are pretty severe. Some of the hail managed to punch holes in the roof, leaving patches open to the sky. The type of barn that they have, a pole barn, is an older style and not very stable. Because of this, the wind was able to warp some of the poles holding the barn up, causing it to lean dangerously, as you can see. The repairs will be expensive, but we can work through it, Mr. Richardson said this morning. And now I'll show you the fences. The fences around the cow pastures were ruined in the storm. They were blown over and then beaten into the ground by the wind, hail, and rain. When looking at them with me this morning, Mr. Richardson said they were unsalvageable. And that's all we have for now, but if you look at our website later on, you might find some more reports. Thanks, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Alyssa. What an awful storm. Furthermore, we've just received some breaking news that the Zika virus has become more of a threat to the U.S. It is uncontrollably spreading across South America and up through Central America into the United States. On the picture, seen to my left, the countries colored in purple are the areas currently affected by Zika. In May 2015, the World Health Organization declared Zika virus a public health emergency of international concern. More recently, on May 10, 2016, a case of Zika virus was found in a patient at the Mount Horeb Healthcare Clinic. For those who do not know exactly what the disease is, the Zika virus is usually mild, only lasting a few days, but in pregnant women, it can have severe effects on the unborn child. With Zika, birth defects such as microcephaly, which causes the baby's head to be smaller as the brain does not develop fully, and other serious fetal brain defects can occur. But don't worry. Currently, the CDC and the Mount Horeb Healthcare Clinic are working with international public health partners and with state and local health departments to alert healthcare providers and the public, as well as monitor and report cases of Zika to improve our understanding. Zika virus is spread to people primarily through the bite of an infected Aedes mosquito. As of now, doctors do not have any vaccines to prevent the Zika virus, but the best way to ensure that you do not get infected is that you protect yourself against mosquito bites. This can be done by wearing long clothing, sunscreen, insect repellent, and by simply staying indoors. While these measures can be taken, it is still possible to contract the virus. If you're experiencing a rash, a fever, joint pain, or red eyes, seek help from a healthcare professional immediately. Further research is being done to help keep Mount Horeb safe and protected from this devastating virus. Thank you for listening and stay safe. Now, on a lighter note, here's Kiri with another story.
Today we'll be visiting the home of Harrison the guinea pig. Harrison has made an unlikely companion in Oscar, a stuffed lobster. Harrison's owner states that the guinea pig refuses to eat unless Oscar is laying next to him, and he won't sleep unless Oscar is in the cage with him. Here we have Harrison and Oscar playing around together. One of their favorite activities seems to be hide and seek. Harrison will run away from Oscar, and after a while, once Oscar doesn't move, Harrison comes back out to investigate, then runs and hides again. The owners say that when Oscar is taken away from Harrison, the guinea pig will let out noises of distress. I guess this just shows to go that love is blind. Now, another story to lighten your day. Here's Jillian telling you about the teenager who saved the life of a friendly turtle on his afternoon swim.
Animals all over the world are being saved every day. But one case, right here in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin, stands out a little bit more than the rest of them. On May 5th, at around 1 o'clock, a snapping turtle was found drowning in Stewart Lake. The turtle had had an accident earlier in the year. After getting caught on a fishing line, he had lost his leg. Rescuers retaught him how to swim after this accident, but even today, when the waves get a little too rough, he just can't handle them. While taking a nice afternoon swim, teenagers said that they saw the turtle swimming peacefully in a circle off to the side where they were diving. After a while, the turtle started to get closer and closer. When one teen jumped in, the waves got quite large, and it wasn't long until the turtle went under. One teen saw the whole incident happen, and he immediately jumped in after the turtle, rescuing him before anything too serious could happen. The turtle was placed on a nearby rock to recover until he was ready to continue swimming. This story lets us all know that we always need to be aware of our surroundings, whether we are in the water or not, and that we need to take care of nature while it is still here.
You may notice how Grace isn't sitting here next to me. That's because she is at the biology teacher Tom Shea's classroom with a fluffy surprise.
Hello and good morning, Mount Horeb. It's my pleasure to announce that 46 healthy quail have been born over the span of 3 days. The quail have been growing inside their eggs in an incubator placed in the classroom of biology teacher Tom Shea. The quail are being raised by 2 students for the ecology final project where they are taking data on their weight, length, and coloring of the chicks and their eggs. After remaining in the incubator for 23 days, the chicks began to hatch. The first chick, number 4, commenced the hatching as it was the first to break through on the morning of May 6th. Shortly after, on May 7th, 4 new hatchlings appeared in the incubator. While the hatching was slow at first, student Gabby Shea was pleasantly surprised to find that 27 new eggs had hatched overnight and into May 8th. As of now, 2 tubs in the back of the room claim the home of 46 healthy puffballs. The chicks are being fed on sugar water and oatmeal to ensure that they remain healthy. Once the chicks reach suitable size in about 2 to 3 weeks, they will be transferred from the classroom to a quail callback box located just outside of Mount Horeb. With such a success, Tom Shea plans to raise more quail in the future. For now, students and teachers stop in to check on how the cute little puffballs are doing every day. It's no surprise that they're doing so well. Everyone is rooting for them.
Attention parents! If you have purchased a Treads on the road bike helmet within the last 3 months, this message is for you. Due to 7 complaints of children being choked by this helmet and 4 cases of the helmet breaking in falls, Treads is now recalling their newest on-the-road helmet. If you or someone you know has been affected by on-the-road malfunctions, contact 1-800-566-TREAD for more information. If you own one of these helmets, contact 1-800-566-HELMET for your free replacement helmet today.
Last week, on Friday the 13th, something awful occurred at the Madison Zoo. 2 African elephants escaped the zoo sometime at night. Head zookeeper Rage Panis says they didn't even notice that they were gone until morning. The 2 elephants live in an enclosure that is unfortunately much too small for their liking. The elephants are named after the famous ice cream brand Haagen and Dazs, and they're the crowd's favorite. If these elephants are not found, it could be a really big impact on the zoo's profits due to the fact that many people only visit the zoo for the sole purpose of seeing the elephants perform. Putting on 2 shows daily, 5 days a week, Haagen-Dazs bring people in with their many tricks and talents. We talked to the zookeeper on duty during the escape and asked the question we have all been wondering. How did they escape? The answer was simple yet alarming, being the gate was left open after their late night feeding. I just forgot to close it. I was too focused on my music playing, said the zookeeper. With that being announced, the employee was fired for jamming on the job. Officials have continued looking for them due to the fact that it's dangerous to have 2 fully grown adult elephants roaming around Madison, Wisconsin. So far, no signs of the elephants have been seen. If you happen to see any signs of the pair, you should call your local police station and potentially save your life.
Thanks, Jill. We'll be keeping an eye out for them. Now here's Paige with more on summer job opportunities for teens looking to make a little more money.
Every teenager is looking for a summer job right now, and Mount Horeb has many opportunities. If you enjoy people, you could wait tables at Fink's, Schubert's, Pop's House, or Grumpy Troll. People who enjoy children would love to babysit or lifeguard at the Mount Horeb, Blue Mounds, or Deer Valley Lodge pools. Independent and quiet people would work well either shelving books at the library or mowing lawns. If you're outdoorsy, Cave in the Mounds is perfect. Food lovers would enjoy Subway, Schulin's, Culver's, or Great Scott's. Miller's and World of Variety are perfect for organized people that are good with money. No matter what kind of person you are, there's a summer job for you.
Listen up, all you music lovers. For this next segment, we will be covering the Mount Horeb Band and all their recent accomplishments. Alyssa?
Mount Horeb High School Band has had a busy year, and the next one will be even busier. Just this past spring, the band performed their yearly band show. The show happens early in April and is always a blast. It's known for interesting lights, a great theme for the music, and crowd participation. The show runs for 3 nights, and each one is better than the last. A couple of weeks ago, the band performed another spring concert. This was held in the gym and had the bands from 6th through 12th grades. The theme for this concert was circus music, and every band played a circus piece. At the end of the concert, all the bands joined together in one last piece. Looking ahead, the band will play and march for Memorial Day and play for graduation. On Memorial Day, they will begin in the gym and then march down to the cemetery for a service. For graduation, they will play either in the gym or on the football field, depending on the weather. Expect some fun music and a lot of pomp and circumstance. Soon after that, they will play in the Frolic Parade. They will begin on Garfield Street below the middle school and then march to the Frolic grounds at Grundle Park. Looking ahead to next year, the band and their director, Mr. Jansen, are in a state of excitement. They have been invited to march and play in the 2017 London New Year's Day Parade. This is an exciting opportunity for the band, and many of its members are going on this trip. We will keep you updated on trip info and how you can help. Stay tuned for an interview with the band director, Mr. Jansen, and an inside look into his career. So, Mr. Jansen, were you involved in music in high school outside of your school's music program?
We had a community theater group that I was in that actually got started when I was in 7th grade, and I was part of that. My mom and dad were actually part of it because it was a community group, so it was adults and students. So we did musicals already, like when I was in 7th and 8th grade, and we had an adult jazz group that played, and I was part of a barbershop group that sang. It was 3 adults, and I was a high schooler, so that kind of stuff, I guess. So
nice. All right. Did you teach anywhere before you came to Mount Horeb?
Yep, I taught 2 years in Marion, which is up by Clintonville, Shawano, up in the northern part of the state. I taught 2 years there before I came here.
All right. And so how long have you been teaching here?
Since 1986.
I can't do math.
This is my 30th year here.
All right. Okay. And so questions about London. When did the band first get invited?
Well, the first time we got invited was in 2007. And then we got invited again in 2011. And then again I've been last year for this year.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on the upcoming London trip?
Well, things are coming together nicely. I've been pleased with how many students are going, because we're about 125 students, so we're over half, which is better than we had last time we went. And people have been having more chances to fundraise through stuff. There's some parents that are helping to do that. So people's accounts are in pretty good shape in terms of paying the bill, which is, the tricky part. We haven't gotten to talk about much of the fun stuff that we'll get to do yet, because it's just been all about the money so far. But once we get to the fall, we start having rehearsals for the performances, and we get to start talking about some of the more interesting things that we get to do. I think people feel more excited about it. So other than that, things are okay, but it's kind of quiet other than the fundraising.
All right. What are your opinions on the incoming freshmen?
Well, I'm there 2 days a week with the 8th grade band, because I go over there Tuesdays and Thursdays. And they're pretty good players. They got a lot of compliments when they played up at the Kalahari Festival. So they're a very nice group. It's a very big group. I think we'll have about 70 freshmen, which would be about what we had this year and about what we had when the year you were freshmen. So there'll be a lot of them, but they're good players. So I think things will be good.
Okay, and is that more than the seniors that are graduating this year?
We've got about roughly 50 seniors and about 38 current juniors. And then the next classes are all somewhere around 70. So.
Okay, so it'll be growing. So what do you think, how will that affect the band? Positively?
We didn't have enough space. We didn't have enough stuff. But we're trying to address that. We've picked up some more uniform pieces to make sure we can get through the fall. And we're just going to have to be creative. I mean, everybody, I think, already feels like when they're in class, it's pretty tight in terms of space to move around, and that'll just continue to be true. But I'd rather have that than to have the room empty and nobody in the class. So it's a better problem, but I don't have a good answer for that yet. I think we'll figure it out as we go a little bit. So.
All right, and then one last question. When will you take over as the UW band director?
I won't be taking over as the band director, but thank you anyway.
All right.
No, I think I will be here till the bitter end, so.
All right, well, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Alyssa. Not only will you get to see the marching band at this year's Summer Frolic, but many of the other fun and exciting outdoor activities. During the day, you will have a chance to visit many of the fun game booths. Carney's line Grendel Park with tents full of thrilling games for the whole family. Ring toss, face painting, and giant basketball are just a few of the games held annually during the Summer Frolic. Some rides you might find are the Alibaba, bumper cars, and of course, the Ferris wheel. For those of you with small children, this is the perfect time to get them out of the house and to relieve their energy. With rides like the Caterpillar and the Spinning Bears, not only will your kid have fun, but they will stay safe while doing so. While your kid is on the ride, there are even fun watching areas for parents to keep a close eye on their child the entire time. When the day starts to come to a close, some events are just starting. Once sundown starts, so does the race. Relay for Life, an organization designed to raise money for cancer, has an event held every year where you can walk the outer edge of the park, looking at the lighted candles in memory of the loved ones. The last thing about the Frolic everyone looks forward to are the fireworks. An amazing fireworks show is put on every year, letting everyone sit and enjoy the rest of their night.
Wow, the frolic seems like so much fun. Now here's Paige with a healthy snack to bring with you on your summer adventures.
Many athletes struggle to find healthy, portable snacks. This quick and simple recipe will give you tasty granola bars in under an hour. First, combine 2 cups of quick cooking oats, half a cup of almonds, and half a cup of chocolate chips. The flavor doesn't really matter. I used milk chocolate, but you can use whatever you want. Next, add in a quarter cup of raisins, a cup of peanut butter, and a quarter cup of honey. Finally, add half a tablespoon of cinnamon and mix together. Next, you're going to press these into an 8x8 tray, which I have right here lined with cooking spray, and press down with a rubber spatula. The bars will set up about 45 minutes at room temperature. Now that the bars have hardened, you can cut them into the size you want. Now you have a quick, easy, and healthy snack to take with you wherever life takes you.
You're hiking up Mount Everest, and your stomach starts to grumble. But what are you going to eat? You're at the top of a mountain. But don't worry, your mom has packed you a Nature Valley bar. Now you can enjoy the view with a happy stomach, thanks to the energy bar nature intended.
Most every person you talk to will tell you that they enjoy music, whether it being playing an instrument, singing, or even just listening to music. There are also multiple strong reasons why music is beneficial to one's health. And beyond all of that, over half of kids who have the option choose to participate in a school-run music program. Yet, besides all of that alarming information, schools are still having to cut music from their curriculum. One main reason to keep music in schools is that students who are involved in music tend to perform better overall in classes. Studies show that music training helps develop language and reasoning, because those two things are centered on the left side of the brain, an area which music helps develop. Students will also learn to improve their work by using discipline. Music teaches kids to practice until they get where they want to be, which is a valuable skill for real life. NAFame.org says that being involved in music can even help raise SAT scores. One study shows that students get 63 points higher on verbal and 44 points higher on math test averages if they're involved in a music appreciation course. Besides all of this information, if kids are given a chance to choose a class that they enjoy and look forward to every day, it will keep students engaged in the rest of school. They will have something to feel accomplished about, and it will raise their participation and their self-worth in the rest of their classes. Beyond the academic side of this argument, keeping students involved in music will help them once they graduate as well. As it is proven to raise success in society, music is a huge part of society, and it is very culturally important. So it makes sense that students involved in a school music program are proven to risk less substance abuse than the students who aren't involved in music. Music classes also teach better auditory senses, such as being able to sense urgency in sounds. For instance, one study shows that kids involved in music were more able to understand the meaning behind a child's cry than the students who weren't involved in either band, choir, or orchestra, or any other music class. Another way that music programs help prepare their students for the outside world is by teaching them creative thinking. In any job or work area, creative thinking can solve problems and get things done quicker or more efficiently, and it is overall quite important to be successful. Finally, any music class will teach kids the importance of teamwork, which is hugely important outside of school and in the workforce. For example, being in band will teach a student that no matter how they sound individually, the rest of the band also has to sound good for the song to be able to be performed at a concert. The real-life parallel to this is that in a project through work, your part may be done and perfected, but if the rest is incomplete, then the project is also incomplete. Now, you may agree with all of this and think it's all good and fine, but may be wondering why music has to be through school. Why can't the students who are interested in music take a class in their own time, outside of school? Well, for one, music in schools will help students form better friendships, and it actually reduces the amount of bullying or hurtful languages used by students to other students. because being in band will allow these students to feel like they are all a part of something together. Aaron Jensen, author of Arts with the Brain in Mind, says that teaching through music encourages a bigger appetite for learning and increases children's motivations in school. Teachers have also found that in a school with music programs, their students will tend to be less aggressive and more willing to listen and to learn. Finally, the most obvious reason is that not all students can afford the time or the money needed for a private instruction, and turn to a school music program to gain all the benefits mentioned above. There are huge benefits to keeping music programs in school, both in academic success in society, and in the workforce. It should be obvious for you to help keep music funded in school programs.
Thanks, Kiri, for that insight. Here's Aaron and Paige with this morning's sports.
Thanks, Jillian. This week, we will cover 7 different sports and the countless outstanding athletes that participate in them.
How amazing that so many people you know from Mount Horeb are also accomplished athletes.
Here's Paige from earlier today at the softball field.
Good morning, Channel 4. I'm here at the softball field where the Vikings softball team has struggled for years. But this season, things are looking up. Coach Mike Umberger is confident in his young team's talent and work ethic. I wouldn't trade this team's defense for anyone in the conference, he said at the last game. Sophomore Sam Adler and freshman Jaden Holman are responsible for the pitching this year, while Holman, Ellie Kelsvig, and Taylor Payne are the top hitters, each with 3 home runs. DeForest is at the top of the conference, and the Vikings are fighting to hold one of the middle positions. Every team gets a chance in the playoffs, and they are hoping to make the best of it. The season is coming to a close soon, so get out and watch the girls play. So far, the Vikings are 4-11, but most games have been close.
What a hit. Now let's swing into some golf.
Pairings for the WIAA Boys Golf Tournament have been finalized, and area regionals will be held on Tuesday and Wednesday, May 24th and 25th. Mount Horeb's golf team will be competing in the Madison Edgewood Regional at 8:30 a.m. on May 25th at the Nakoma Country Club with a par 70. They will then move on to regionals at the La Crosse Country Club, which has a par of 72, if they qualify at the Edgewood Regional. Mount Horeb has a record of 1-2 with defending conference champion Jensen Peck and Division II sectional qualifier Kyler Fager. They are hoping to be in the top 4 teams that move on to sectionals, and the top 2 teams at sectionals will move on to the state boys golf tournament.
Way to putt that nicely. Now let's go to Grace with volleyball. This past weekend, on April 29th through May 1st, the USAV Girls 18s Club National Championship was held here in our backyards. The tournament capped off the club season in the Mount Horeb Auxiliary Gym. Club teams from all around the country battled for 3 long days for the national title. The tournament was split up into 4 divisions, including the Open, National, USA, and Patriot. The Open division held the top 36 teams in the nation, while the following National, USA, and Patriot divisions held 48 teams each. The whole tournament was moved up a couple of weeks to answer the request from the senior volleyball players who were seeking to finish club early in order to move on to their college seasons. As for the results, Minnesota Select won the Open division with a record of 9-1. Their one loss was against Red Rock in 3 sets. Houston Junior Volleyball Elite won the USA division, coming out on top with an 8-1 record. After losing their game and stringing 8 straight victories in a row, they took the tournament. Mavericks 900, 18 Black, won the national division without dropping a single set, winning every match. Finally, Chicago Michigo 18 National claimed the Patriot division by defeating the undefeated First Alliance in the gold medal match. Overall, the tournament was a success, bringing tough competition from all around the nation right here in our backyard. Thanks for watching. Back to you, Paige.
Verona native Nick Schmaltz is a national champion with the North Dakota Fighting Hawks men's hockey team. The Hawks defeated Quinnipiac 5-1 to win the school's 8th title. Schmaltz has been drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks and will join his brother, Jordan, in the NHL. However, he will return to school for his junior season. Nick ended the season with 5 goals and 21 assists for a total of 26 points. How amazing that someone so close to us has become such a star.
The The Mount Horeb High School track and field team has had a successful season, and it is now coming to an end. One of their best meets was at conference on Tuesday, May 17th. At this competition, 31 team members got one or more score of 7th place or higher and scored points for their team. 11 team members received an award of 1st or 2nd place. As for team results, the girls took 3rd place and the boys took 5th. The girls' track and field team has not won a conference championship since 1996. This year, they had a pretty good shot, but it was expected to be a close competition between 3 teams, and unfortunately, Wanakee and Baraboo finished up on top. A few individuals really stood out this year at the conference meet, including Nadia Williams. For the 4th year in a row, Nadia was the conference champion in long jump, the 200-meter dash, and the 100-meter dash. In her high school track career, Nadia has won a total of 14 conference championship awards, which is incredibly impressive, especially when considering that the most events that one athlete can win in 4 years is 16. Not only was there success in our running events, but also in the field events. Dustin Esser, a sophomore, competed in pole vault at this meet, and did something that shocked his coaches and team members. Since this was Dustin's first year in pole vaulting, he was seated lower in comparison to the more experienced athletes. His personal record before conference was 8 feet, and opening height this day was 9 feet. But with extreme determination, Dustin cleared 9 feet on his first attempt. Following this, he proceeded to clear 9.5 feet and 10 feet, all on his first jump. Dustin finished in 9th place. Senior Kim Keller was able to score her team a few points by breaking her personal record of 8 feet and placing in 6th place. 6 days later, our track team competed at regionals, where the top 4 athletes in each event qualified for the sectional meet, which will take place on Thursday, May 26th. We wish these athletes the best of luck and are looking forward to see what the team will accomplish in upcoming years.
In other sports news, Mount Horeb had an amazing opportunity to be able to host the NCAA men's volleyball tournament this past weekend. Ohio State defeated top-seeded BYU a sweep in 3 sets. The Buckeyes ended the season 31-3, riding a 23-match win streak. This is their 2nd title in 5 years.
The Mount Horeb High School varsity baseball team had a very good game at their cancer night on Tuesday, May 17th. The final score of the game was 10-0, with Mount Horeb winning. Although the Vikings have struggled a bit during this regular season, they are expected to have a stronger and more successful postseason. They are currently 6-14 and 3-9 in their conference. At this last game on May 17th, Spencer Wohler and Ryan Vogel both went 2 for 3. Bama Doyle and Hunter Wickman both went 1 for 2, and Hunter Wickman hit a double. Bama Doyle pitched during this whole game and only walked 3 players. Along with this, he struck out 2 batters. Finally, Spencer Wohler, Josh Beyer, and Bama Doyle all stole bases during this game, contributing to their team's success. The baseball team is looking to finish up the season with a few more wins and possibly a trip to the state baseball tournament.
The Mount Horeb girls soccer team is having a stellar season. Despite some injuries, the team has a winning record and is leading the conference. Coach Newman is proud of his team and hopes they'll win state this year after many years of being in arm's reach. The team has an 8-3-3 record and is averaging 1.36 goals per game. Sydney King, Cheyenne Schmidt-Colvin, and Maggie Conway are leading scorers with 5, 4, and 4 goals respectively. Goalie Grace Dressler has 35 saves and only 8 goals against. Come support the girls in their upcoming games.
Thanks, Paige, for that kick and information on sports. Now let's head over to Grace for a recent movie review.
Hello, Channel 4. Thanks for joining me. Recently, I went to the movies and had troubles deciding exactly which movie I was going to watch. After a few minutes of deciding, my group settled on Captain America's Civil War, and let me tell you, it was not a disappointment. The movie was very well written, funny, action-packed, and an overall fantastic movie. It included all of our favorite Marvel characters, and a few newbies, including Ant-Man, Scarlet Witch, Black Panther, and special guest, Spider-Man. In my opinion, I believe that the movie was more comical than most Marvel movies, creating a great atmosphere and impression of the characters. Furthermore, one thing I thought they did well was how they introduced the new characters smoothly and flawlessly. However, while the movie was great, I didn't care for the ending as it felt somewhat abrupt. you didn't receive the impression that the conflict was truly resolved, as it simply ended in a letter. It also left the Avengers split apart, which in a way was an effective strategy to keep the audience on their toes, but also disappointing. Overall, this movie was a hit with the audience and earns 4.5 stars. I would definitely recommend seeing it in a movie theater near you. Thanks for watching. Now back to Jill with more news.
Since school is just getting out, and all of you moms are probably in a state of panic, what are you going to do with your young, rambunctious kids to keep them entertained all summer long without using electronics? Well, we've come up with a list of things in Mount Horeb or in Madison that'll keep your kid entertained to the max. For those extremely hot days where you just don't know what to do to stop your kid from complaining, take them to the beach or the pool. Mount Horeb offers a great pool which has trained lifeguards on duty at all times so that you never have to worry about your kid staying safe. If you feel like your kid isn't getting enough educational stuff done, no problem. Take them to the library. The library has fun programs all summer long to keep your kid entertained and educated. Maybe it's raining outside, and you just have lost all hope for entertainment. Well, crafts are a fun activity to do for kids of all ages, and they can access that creative side of their mind. Lastly, for those days when you just want to see the scenery and exercise, you can take them on a bike ride or go for a hike or a walk. Now that you have some ideas for how to entertain your kid all summer, you won't have to sit inside watching movies all summer.
Something else that you could do this summer is visit the new Schulins. Here's Paige with the details.
If you're driving through Mount Horeb, make sure to stop at Schulin's Chocolate House, which now has 2 locations, on Main Street and on the east edge of town. The original location still has the full menu, but the new location is mainly focused on baking. In addition to the new Schulins, there is a new Grand Stay Hotel and Suites with a large selection of rooms and suites, including a Whirlpool suite or a 1-bedroom with a dining area. Complimentary breakfast, free Wi-Fi, an outdoor patio, and a pool and whirlpool are other perks for guests. Little Vikings Daycare also built a facility in the area. These new additions to the troll capital of the world will hopefully promote business and tourism in the area.
It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for your weekly Furry Friends contest. Each Monday, we ask viewers to send in pictures of them and their 4-legged friends, looking strikingly alike. The most identical pair wins a free animal spa day, courtesy of Serene Devotion. Here are a few of last week's runners-up. 4th place, Cece and Lily, looking adorable in yellow. 3rd place goes to Linda and Piper, enjoying a day on the beach. 2nd place goes to Charles and Juke, both regal names for regal men. And finally, your 1st place winner of this week's Furry Friends contest goes to Doris and Phoebe. Looking good, ladies. Enjoy your free spa day. Remember to send pictures of you and your doggy doubles in to Channel 4 Furry Friends at channel4.com, starting this next Monday.
So you've heard about the Frolic, but the upcoming events don't stop there. On June 3rd, 4th, and 5th, there is the annual Spring Art Tour, which Mount Horeb will be a part of. Also on the 4th, for the more athletic people, there will be a Blue Mounds Trail Run. The next thing on the list is Rob's Sugar River Ramble, which will happen on June 5th. And then, of course, there is the Frolic, from the 9th to the 12th. Next is the Art Fair, happening on the 16th and the 17th of June. On the 16th, there will also be a pie sale, which will happen at the Art Fair. Moving into July, there will be Wednesday night live concerts every Wednesday in July. These feature artists from around the area and are held at Grundle Park. On August 11th, there will be a Chamber of Commerce golf outing for anyone who is interested. Moving on to September, the annual Fire Muster will happen on the 4th and is always a fun time for the whole family. Next is the Sustainability Fest, which teaches people of all ages about sustainable energy and how to preserve their earth. This will happen on the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And last but not least is the Mount Horeb Brew Fest, which will happen on September 10th. That's all the events we have now, but we will give you more once we know. Thanks.